Played at parties, playing bars, spend money buying new guitars, scream my heart out, but I loved it. That's rock and roll. Well, come on, everybody get down and get with it. Come on, everybody get down and get with it. Come on, everybody get down. That's rock and roll. It's when you're smoking and the weed, it's got your heart pounding right with the beat. Don't try to fight it, just get excited. That's rock and roll. And don't you worry about being a star. It doesn't matter who or what you are. Just get the rhythm and let it feel. That's rock and roll. Well, come on, everybody get down and get with it. Come on, everybody get down and get with it. Come on, everybody get down. That's rock and roll. Come on, everybody get down and get with it. Come on, everybody get down and get with it. Come on, everybody get down. That's rock and roll. And if you feel it, clap your hands. The season's sweat for the girl in the band. Let me hear ya, let me hear ya. It's rock and roll. Everybody get down and get with it. Come on, everybody get down and get with it. Come on, everybody get down. That's rock and roll. Well, come on, everybody. Well, come on, everybody. Well, come on, everybody get down. That's rock and roll. The night we met, I knew I needed you so. And if I had the chance, I'd never let you go. So won't you say you love me? I'll make you so proud of me. We'll make them turn their heads every place we go. So won't you please be my little baby? Say you'll be my darling. Be my baby, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Well, I'll make you happy, baby. Be my baby now. Oh, 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 oh. Be my little baby. Say you be my darling. Be my baby now. Oh, oh. Thank you. It's a little surreal. This is my first live music performance in a very, very, very long time. Yes, please sit. We're a little older. My last concert was in 1980 at the Houston Astrodome for 55,000 people. I don't know where the rest of those folks are, but I'm glad you guys could make it tonight. I said it. If any of you saw that show or any of the others I did back in the day, you might recall that I opened with a very subtle entrance. I jumped through a hoop, this massive hoop wrapped in white paper, ass shaking, backlit. I would leap through that thing like a circus tiger. That is when it worked. You see, hoop jumping isn't an exact science. And from city to city, the crew didn't always use the same thickness of paper. So when the paper was too thick, I would just bounce off and hit the ground like a wet satin noodle. And this was not pretty. This was not pretty at all. In fact, it was often just sad. Break up, 'cause we'll never make up. Bad about us. Apologies mean nothing when the damage is done. But I can't switch off my loving like I can't switch off the sun.
Ah. How many guys got dragged here by their wives or girlfriends tonight? Show of hands. Thank you, sir. And how many of you wanted to kick my ass in high school? How many of you want to kick my ass right now? Maybe this can be a healing night for all of us. Some people call me a teenage idol. Some people say they envy me. But I guess they got no way of knowing how lonesome I can be. Teen idols may be a lot of things, but lonesome, I need somebody to be my baby, someone to tell my troubles to, but I got no time to ever find her, 'cause I'm just passing through. Yep, just a poor lonely teen idol, lost in Buellton. That song was a big hit for Ricky Nelson back in the early 1960s. I had the honor of working with Rick on a television show I did some years later called The Hardy Boys Mysteries. It was the summer after I graduated from high school. The summer I turned 18 years old. The summer I had the #1 record in America. Weird summer, man. So here's my first big secret of the night. Even though I come from a show business family, even though my mother and my father, my older half-brother were all wildly successful by the time they were 18, I think they all liked it a lot more than I did. Don't misunderstand. I love performing. It's just all the other stuff. All that living in a fishbowl, Hollywood stuff, kind of made me want to disappear. And I guess I did a pretty good job of that, didn't I? Thank you. I didn't go far. See, I've always loved telling stories. And for the last 3 decades or so, it's exactly what I've been doing. Working as a storyteller, as a writer, in television mostly, and as a father at my children's bedside. It's been an amazing journey. But after all these years behind the scenes, there's still one thing I've missed. One thing that still called to me. One thing I could never forget. You. I love it when you talk to me. I love it when you talk to me. But you're afraid to walk with me through the storm. It's like heaven through the storm. It's like heaven. When will it ever end? When will it ever end? Don't take this thrill away from me. You know our love was meant to be the way that it should truly be. Every day I'll be with you tonight and kiss you tonight. I'll be with you tonight and kiss you tonight. I love it when you talk to me. It's like heaven. I love it when you talk to me. It's like heaven. When will it ever end? When will it ever end? It's like heaven. It's like it's like heaven.
Oh. Here we are again. The towel. Here we are with the towel. Just a, oh, hi. Just a few short years, excuse me. Just a few short years before I was at the Astrodome, me and my 8th grade punk band playing parties all over Los Angeles. And in those days, I wasn't the dashing middle-aged rogue you see sitting before you tonight. I looked like a golden retriever with really bad acne. I had long, stringy hair, braces, and this deep voice that did not help me when it came to singing the big rock songs of the day. See, back then, all the cool singers had these crazy high voices. So I had to develop this thing called a falsetto. So if you can imagine this poor kid from Beverly Hills, this 8-pound golden retriever-faced boy showing up at your prom or your dance or your bar mitzvah, he might have sounded something like this. It's been a long time since a rock and roll. It's been a long time since I picked that stone. Once I realized I was not going to be Robert Plant, I decided I'd better start writing my own songs in more manageable keys. Now, I grew up in a house filled with singers. My father, Jack Cassidy, was a Tony Award winner. He starred in a number of Broadway shows. And my mother, Shirley Jones, she starred in 3 of the greatest movie musicals ever made, Oklahoma, Carousel, and The Music Man. So I grew up hearing all these classic show tunes, but this was not the kind of music that was going to fly at the high school dance. So I had to start writing my own stuff, and my favorite place to write was at my best friend Miguel Ferrer's house.
my late good friend Miguel. Miguel's mom was Rosemary Clooney, and Rosemary had been one of the biggest pop singers of the 1950s. At the height of her fame, she bought this mansion that once belonged to George Gershwin, and she put her piano right where Gershwin's had been. So every day after school, I'd go over to Miguel's and I'd sit at the Clooney Gershwin piano, attempting to pound out my little rock anthems, while Miguel would be outside shooting baskets with his cousin George Clooney. Perfectly normal childhood. Anyway, one night around this time, we're all sitting in front of the TV, and this group comes on called the Bay City Rollers. Do you guys remember them? Yeah, they're these guys from Scotland who wore these tartan outfits and had these goofy, well, who am I to talk? Anyway, they had, hair. And they're doing this concert, and there's all these kids screaming and crying and peeing in their seats. They're going insane. And I'm watching this, and I've seen this before. I'd seen the Beatles growing up, and I'd seen the Monkees on TV, and I'd seen it with my brother, David. But for some reason on this particular night, this idea hit me. This whole Teen Idol thing is not about the performer. It's about the audience. It's about the shared experience. It's like one big hormonal hurricane. And once that idea landed, I went right to the piano and I wrote this song. And I later put it on an album. And everybody thought I was writing about me. But no. Fresh out of school, proud and brave, we were born into the heart of the golden age. We had nothing to lose, nothing to fall. We had only to give, and we gave it all. Caught in a hurricane that was yet to be seen, and baby, caught in a teen dream. Whoa. Too young to know, too young to care. We were riding on the dream and the love we shared. So we gave with our hearts, our mind, our soul, a generation younger than rock and roll. Caught in a hurricane that was yet to be seen, and baby, caught in a teen dream. Whoa. An overnight sensation, no time for an explanation. Sensation, yeah, yeah, yeah. Too young to care. We were riding on the dream and the love we shared. So we gave it our hearts, our mind, our soul, a generation younger than rock and roll. Caught in a hurricane that was yet to be seen, baby, caught in a teen dream. Take it away, Matt. Teen Idol is a perfectly fine job out of high school, but it's kind of got a short shelf life. And I started thinking pretty early on, I better start looking at some more long-term career plans. But there isn't really a recovery program for this sort of thing. Fortunately, as will happen with teen idols, I met a girl. It's cheesy, but it works. She was actually a young woman, a bit older than me, and she gave me some very sound advice. She said, "We are the sum total of our own limitations." I had no idea what that meant, but I figured it out.
Just when I thought I was old enough to realize, this girl comes along and says, "Boy, you've been living a lie." She said, "Your heart's been misplaced, I can see it in your face. You know how to run, but you lose in the race. And in the end, no one can change that but you. What do you do with this kind of talk going around? When you know that she's right, it's pointless to fight with a girl who has got your heart down." So I decided to see what she had in mind. Soon I realized she was giving me more than her time. She said, "It's all on your side, you better take advantage. Get out of line, I'm sure that you can manage this. Take your time, don't let them take advantage of you." What do you do with this kind of talk going around? When you know that she's right, it's pointless to fight with a girl who has got your heart down. She caught the coming and going, she never knew what she gave to me. It's from the start, well, I never knew what to be. She caught the coming and going, she never knew what she gave to me. It's at the start, well, I never knew what to be.
Thing, true story. Even while I'm doing these concerts, Astrodome or Madison Square Garden, these huge places, I am thinking, this is not going to last. Fortunately, shortly thereafter, the audience and I came to an agreement. They agreed to stop buying the records, and I agreed to stop making them. My friend said, "It's fine, you can just go underground for a while, take some time, you can always come back." The truth is, I didn't want to come back. I wanted to go forward because I knew I had a different story to tell. I didn't know what that story was yet, but I knew I had to find it. The way we all have to find our story. John, will you tell these good people your story, please? This would be the charming and handsome John Ormond on the bass guitar. George, I know you have a story to tell these people. That's Mr. George Pendergast. If you've ever heard of a band called Dishwalla, he's their drummer. True story, not tonight. Kathleen, would you please tell these fine people your story? I love that story. That's Kathleen Seek on the keyboard and the beautiful background vocals. And to my right, we have the guitar team. Jason, tell us your story, please.
That's Jason Gonzalez on the lead guitar. Sven, you're up, buddy. Storytime Theater. That handsome devil in the Teen Dream t-shirt, Mr. Sven Holcomb. And last but not least, for the final chapter in this collective story, Matt, take it away. That's Mr. Matt Morrish. And when he's not entertaining you here, he plays with a band called the English Beat. True story. The true story of all is that we all have a story to tell. You just have to find it. Here's a little bit more of mine. 1, 2, 3. She caught me coming and going. She never knew what she had to be. From the start, well, I never knew what to be. Okay. So here's my second big secret of the night. I was terrified to do this. Not for the obvious reasons. Yes, it's been a long time, I get it, but I got past that. It's, how do I put this? Well, some of you, not all of you, but some of you, back in the day, you kind of scared the shit out of me. Well, you were a little crazy. And you chased me a lot. And you jumped on my car, and you jumped over my fence, and you ripped my hair out of my head. And this might have been pleasurable on some level for you, but for me it was a little awkward. And I have a little PTSD, I think, about that period. And maybe I felt safe going, staying home for the 80s. Kind of did. But I ventured out in the mid-90s, and I started, talking to you, and I found out, oh, guess what? I'm not the only one who grew up. Other people did too. Am I going on too long? Sorry. Anyway, I'm very grateful to be here now, and I'm so grateful that you guys are here, and I know a lot of you come from a long way. And the truth is, as scary as the prospect of doing this, yes, I recognize that boy. As scary as the idea of this was for me, you should try rehearsing at home in front of your children. Because they will mock you mercilessly. And forget about showing them any of your old videos on YouTube. Or some of the lyrics you wrote back in the day. Daddy, what's a taxi dancer? Sheila was a girl misunderstood. A real operator, a legend in the neighborhood. She was bad, but Sheila had taken by the wind. Dance all night, hold me tight, darling. Taxi dance, putting on another show. But darling, didn't you know we were in love with you, and we all living for today. Right or wrong, weak or strong, she never missed a step. Dance all night, hold me tight, darling. Taxi dance, putting on another show. But darling, didn't you know we were in love with you? We all cried the same tears too. Taxi dance, playing with the schoolboy's hearts, keeping only a shuffle apart. On a Monday night, keeping only a shuffle apart. On another Monday night, oh, that weather felt so right. Taxi dance, playing with the schoolboy's heart, keeping only a shuffle apart. On another Monday night, oh, that weather felt so right. So right, baby. Yeah, the kids love that one. I have a lot of kids. Jessica, Caitlin, Jake, Juliet, Caleb, Rowan, Lila, and Marin. Car seat since '82. Along with my wife Tracy, they are everything to me. They're my story. It's a tough time to raise kids now. It's a kind of a weird time. Not like back during my perfectly normal childhood. I have one other little PTSD thing I want to talk to you about. I just remembered this. No, actually, back when I was doing concerts, before we all took pictures with our telephones, we had these things called Instamatic cameras. And, is it you? You do? Well, they had these things called flash cubes, right? On the top, there were these disposable things that were very sharp, as it turned out. And I'd be doing this show, see young people, little girls mostly, and they'd be taking these pictures, click, 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 and when they were done, they'd take that flash cube and they'd hurl it at me like a javelin. And I know this was a love offering, but these things could cut you. And I confess I still carry the scars. But what I also still carry is a great feeling in my heart for all those little girls who aren't so little anymore. I know. Hey there, lonely girl, let me make your broken heart like glue. Hey there, lonely girl, don't you know this lonely boy loves you? Ever since he broke your heart, you seem so lost each time you pass my way. Oh, how I long to
take your hand and say don't cry. I'll kiss your tears away. That lovely girl, my one and only girl, let me make your broken heart like new. Hey there, lovely girl, lonely girl, don't you know this lonely boy loves you? You think that only his two lips can kiss your lips and make your heart stand still, but once you're in my arms, you'll see no one can kiss your lips the way I feel, the way I feel. Hey there, lonely girl, let me make your broken heart like new. Hey there, lovely girl, my one and only girl, don't you know this lonely boy loves you? Don't you know this lonely boy loves you? Thank you. Thank you.
We love you too.
I love you three.
Ditto.
All right. Pull yourself together. So, let's see here. My magician's outfit, by the way. I have a little story, actually. I just thought about it. You know, we had an old joke, and they said I was finished. You know, my dad, in 1962, was at the top of his game. He's a leading man, Broadway star. He's a hot deal, right? And he takes my mother to this restaurant in Beverly Hills called Romanoff's, which was the place to go back in the day. And he walks in, he's got Shirley Jones on his arm, you know, looking for the best table in the house. They're getting it for him. He goes to the men's room. He walks into the men's room, and there's two guys in there bitching and moaning about the sorry state of their careers. And one of them had been a movie star, and then a television star, and now his television series has just been canceled, and his agent won't return his calls, and nobody wants to touch this guy. He is finished. His name was Ronald Reagan. Meanwhile, the other guy has just lost his house in the Bel Air fire on the heels of losing a race for the governorship of California, on the heels of losing a race for the presidency of the United States. His name is Richard Nixon. Reagan and Nixon in the men's room at Romanoff's crying the blues about the sorry state of their careers, while my father's like king of the world. He's like, don't worry guys, things will turn around for you. And they said I was finished. When people ask me how I made the transition from singing and acting to writing and producing, I always tell them the same thing. I worked really, really hard, and I had the perfect qualifications. Because if you grow up in an insane household like I did, you're perfectly qualified to be a great Hollywood producer. Because producing is basically fear management. It's crisis management. And nothing that crosses your path can possibly be more challenging than a crazy father, or a crazy stepfather, or a deceptively crazy mother who doesn't appear crazy to the world because she seems so sweet and lovely, and everyone thinks she's like the Statue of Liberty, except for the fact that she married two of the craziest men on the planet. So I'm a very good producer.
Yes, you are.
Oh, be quiet. is a one-man show. I mentioned that I've written some television shows. I've worked on a few you might have heard of, like Blue Bloods, Cold Case, and I've created a number of cult hits, which is code for canceled quickly. American Gothic. Thank you. Invasion. A really cool little Fox show called Roar, starring Heath Ledger. Fortunately, I'm now working on a big hit show called New Amsterdam. It is a show about a hospital that actually makes you feel good about being in a hospital, which is kind of miraculous. I've only written one song about TV, and it was with Todd Rundgren. And ironically, it's about the dangers of watching too much TV. So don't tell anyone at the network we played this one for you, or they might not hire me again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I remember, but I don't remember. I was captured, I was hypnotized. Look away from the cool fire. Look away, 'cause you might go blind. Look away from the cool fire. All my fortune, all my strength and power, taken from me before I realized. Look away from the cool fire. Look away, or you might go blind. Look away from the cool fire. Look away. It's Satan who is calling. Look away. Listen to my warning. Look away from the light of all my fortune, all my strength and power, take it from me before we realize. Look away from the cool fire. Look away, 'cause you might go blind. Look away from the cool fire. Look away. Satan, you is calling. Look away. Hear me calling, sister. Look away from the light of the cool fire. Guess what I did on that song? Chose the wrong guitar. This time I'll play the one in tune. You didn't know, right?
No, still sound good.
All right. I seriously could get used to this job again, though. This is a good job. Rock star. A good job. Rock star. Yeah. I'm actually fortunate. I've had a lot of really cool jobs over the years. I don't know if you've seen our little poster in there, but it kind of evokes an old like magician's poster, and that's purposeful because that was my first job. I used to be a magician. And in many ways, we just keep making these magic shows in different forms, but when I was a kid, from like 12 to 15, I would do magic shows all over LA. Sometimes worked at this place called the Magic Castle on Sundays doing kids' parties. I was Cassidini. And one of my first clients was a little 5-year-old girl named Jennifer Aniston. I did a magic show for her birthday party. Many years later, I'm at Warner Brothers. I have an office. She's making a show called Friends. And they called me, the producers called and asked if they could use a poster of me for a flashback sequence they were doing in her character's bedroom. And I said, sure, you can use my poster. And afterwards, she signed it for me. Dear Shaun, thanks for the awesome magic show. Love, Jen. Cassidini had some stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4. One little song for this guitar, that's all. Oh my goodness. I always thought it was so goofy. I'd see like those old Elvis specials, the guys would come out with the towels and like, and now I remember, oh yeah, you actually do sweat up here. So we're all family now, right? That, you know, I really do believe we're all family. I know sometimes we don't want to be, but We lost an irreplaceable member of our family recently, my brother David. I know you all know him. I can't overstate the impact David had on my life. He was the brother from another mother who'd come to my house on weekends when I was a little boy. And he'd stay in my room, he'd sleep in the upper bunk in my room, and he'd tell me the most hysterical stories about our dad. He was 8 years older than me. And he would sneak these transistor radios into the room, and he'd play me all these songs, and we started singing all these songs, and we'd stay up all night singing these tunes. And then he'd beat the hell out of me in some pillow fight, which he really enjoyed doing. David was the first guy to talk to me about girls. That's the end of that sentence, by the way. He's also the guy who taught me how to drive a car when I was 9. He taught me how to use a blow dryer. And who better than David Cassidy to teach a man how to use a blow dryer? When David ended up on the Partridge Family with my mother, everything got surreal because, I knew my mother was famous. She had an Academy Award, but David was just David. He was the guy from the bunk in my room. And suddenly he's like the biggest star in the world. And it scared me. It scared me for him. If we're lucky, our siblings are the only ones we get to take the whole ride with. Not our parents, not our kids, but our brothers and sisters. And I cherish my 2 younger brothers, Patrick and Ryan. Patrick was here last night, and there's not a day goes by where I don't think about David or miss him. And toward the end of his life, when he was facing so many health challenges, it became really difficult to have a relationship with him. We try to help him, but there's drugs and alcohol and all that stuff will eat you alive. And so there was a period there we didn't see him, and we felt that we'd lost him. But thankfully, toward the end of his life, David came back to us, and he was singing again with us, and we were laughing again. This is a song he used to do with the Partridge Family.
Will there come a day when you and I can say we can finally see each other? Will there come a time we can find the time to reach out for one another? We've been traveling in circles such a long, long time, trying to say hello. We could just let it ride, but you're someone that I'd like to get to know. I'll meet you halfway. That's better than no way. There must be some way to get it together. I know that someday we just might work it out forever.
The only time David and I ever worked together was in a Broadway show called Blood Brothers. The final song was this powerful anthem that we sang with Petula Clark. It was about love and loss and ultimately acceptance. Kathleen, if you'll cover for Petula, I'll do my best to cover for David.
Tell me it's not true. Say it's just
a story, something on the news. Tell me it's not true, though it's here before me. Say it's just a dream, say it's just a scene from an old movie from long ago, from an old movie with Marilyn Monroe.
Tell me it's not true, say I only dreamed it, morning will come soon.
Tell me it's not true, say you didn't mean it, say it's just pretend, say it's not the end of an old movie from years ago, of an old movie with Marilyn Monroe. Tell me it's not true, say it's just pretend, say it's just the end of an old movie from years ago, of an old movie with Marilyn Monroe. Oh, oh, oh. Thank you. Thank you very much. See, it's nice to get together every 40 years or so, isn't it? Thank you guys. You guys have been amazing, and I really do appreciate you all coming here. We're putting Buellton on the map. I want to thank John Wright and everyone here at Standing Sun. They completely, I mean, this is a winery. They do great music nights here, but not like this one. They built us a whole big stage and did an incredible thing here. Thank you guys. And thank all of you who came from so many faraway places and this is our story. It's not just mine, it's all of ours, so thank you. Oh, on that note, be careful driving home. It's raining and it's windy. And
Keep singing.
May all your journeys be kissed by the magic of the midnight sky. 1, 2, 3, 4. I saw you like a vision in the darkness of 1,000 lost and lonely nights. But my heart threw away the key. I was blind as a man could be. Oh darling, won't you help me see the light? Hey Jeannie, won't you come out tonight? The stars are dancing like diamonds in the moonlight, but we could never find a better time to feel love. Hey Jeannie, won't you come out tonight? The sun was waiting, the moon is shining so bright. Hey Jeannie, you're the one I'm dreaming of. I stand accused, I'm in league with the forces of darkness, unincurable believer in the magic of a midnight sky, and the love that I found today. Oh, I can't let it slip away. Oh darling, can you help me see the light? Hey, hey Tina, won't you come out tonight? The stars are dancing like diamonds in the moonlight. We can never find a better time to be in love. Hey Tina, won't you come out tonight? The sun is waiting, the moon is shining so bright. Hey Tina, you're the one dreaming of. Tina, love is all there is. Don't wanna lose it. I don't wanna let the feeling in. No, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey Tina, won't you come out tonight? The stars are dancing like diamonds in the moonlight. We could never find a better time to be in love. Hey Tina, won't you come out tonight? The sun was waiting, the moon is shining so bright. Hey Tina, you're the one dreaming of. That's normally where I walk off stage and I pretend like I'm not coming back. Normally, being this is our second show, so. I did it last night, and it always seems so goofy to me because you know they're coming back. So should I go and just come back, or should I just stay? Okay, this is the encore. That was the last song, as if I was leaving. But I'm not leaving. I'm staying. And if you want to take your pictures, now you can take them. Because I always look better, really sweaty. Okay? No flash cubes. All right.
Here we go.
I love you guys too.
Here we go, Shaun.
All right. All right. All right, enough now. All right.
Her phone's still coming on. There we go.
So,
Her phone's still coming
if any of you were paying attention tonight, you might recognize the fact that a lot of this material fell under the banner of a producer by the name of Phil Spector. Phil Spector was a legendary producer who produced some of the greatest records ever made, including Be My Baby, the original by the Ronettes, You've Lost That Love and Feeling by the Righteous Brothers. All right, enough with the cameras. I want to see you guys. I don't want to see your iPhone. You know, when I had children, people said, are you going to bring the camera in to film it? I said, no, I want to be there. I don't want to be here. And who do I show that movie to anyway? Yeah. So, Phil Spector, back in the day, I covered a lot of Phil Spector's songs, including the original Do Run Run and others, and Be My Baby. And so, when Warner Brothers, my record company, was making one of the very first music videos that I was to be in, music on TV, what a concept, I suggested Phil Spector be in it with me. This was a horrible idea. When I arrived at Phil Spector's Gothic compound in the Hollywood Hills with the film crew, I was the only one allowed inside his house. And for the next 4 hours, a drunken Phil Spector held me at gunpoint and made me listen to every record in his jukebox, all of which, of course, were produced by Phil Spector. So just as the crew was about to call the police, I managed to convince Phil Spector to put the gun down, step outside with me, and say the one line we'd come to his house to film him saying.
Be my baby?
No.
Sorry, close.
You know, when you're telling a story, there's usually sort of an objective. You're trying to get to the end of the story because it usually tends to help the story land. And when people interrupt, it tends to segue the story, but it's all like flash cubes, right? Love offering. I understand. The line was, "Who is this kid?" That's all he had to say. Who is this kid? Who is this kid is a question I've been asking myself for a number of years since this time. And I'm not sure, to this day, I completely have the answer. But one of the only songs of Phil Spector's that I did not record back in the day was the one that was playing on his jukebox when I finally found the strength to move for the door. This song resonated with me because it made me think of my family, a family I might not see again if I didn't get the hell out of that house. It's an incredible song, and it's one that's carried me through a lot of good and bad times since. I'm going to share it with you now, and thank you again for this incredible journey that we've shared together. And I'll see you on the next go-round. And yes, I am a little hoarse, so if I crack a little bit, you'll forgive me, right?
Yes, we will.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. My love, my darling, I'm hungered for your touch. A long, lonely time. And time goes by so quickly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love. I need your love. Godspeed your love to me. Lonely rivers flow to the sea, to the sea, to the open arms of the sea. Yeah. Lonely riverside, wait for me, wait for me. I'll be coming home, wait for me. Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch. A long, lonely time, for the longest, loneliest time. It goes by so quickly, so quickly. Time can do so much. Oh, you still mine. sing melody. Here's my last big secret of the night. I'll bet you all think you came here to see me, don't you? I came here to see you. And to remind all of us that even on the darkest of days, the craziest of times, when the whole world can seem so stupidly divided, the simplest song can bring everybody together. And when you catch it at the right moment in your life, it can live in your heart for all time. We are the story. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Well, I met her on a Monday and my heart stood still. Do run, 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 do run, run. Somebody told me that her name was Jill. Run, 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 yeah, my heart stood still. Yeah, her name was Jill. When I walked her home, do run, 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 do run, run. Well, I knew what she was thinking when I caught her eye. Do run, 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 do run, run. She looked so quiet, but my, oh my. Do run, run, run. So fine. And someday soon I'm gonna make her mine. Yeah, she looks so fine. Yeah, I'm gonna make her mine. And when I walked her home, do run, 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 do run, run. Run, 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 do run, run, do 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 run, 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 do run, run. Oh yeah, yeah. Do run, 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 do run, run, 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 do run, 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 do run, run.
Did you see the one that security blocks? Oh, yeah, that was weird. Huh? That was weird. I didn't know why they were there.
I gotta find my friends
Her way through.
Right.
In fact, she pushed her.
She
actually.
Oh, they're there.
And I went, excuse me, yes. And she got up there and she was shocked. Oh, I didn't. And so the one guy came down, sat right next to where she was. Oh. And the other guy came forward to block her. That's why Shaun went behind him.
And this is why he stopped touring. Because of people like that.
Well, she's the one that's been standing here making comments the whole time. Oh. You didn't see that? Someone rushed the stage. Security basically locked her out.
I didn't see that.
Oh, that was I'm not, but actually, could I trade you?
Here we go.
Thank you.